Hey there, my fellow goblin builders, Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Goblin Camp. Episode 2, Building Basic Industry. Alright, question for you guys. There's actually an alternative goal that I could work on. So, what should I do? Build industry? Or explore a ruin? Or plan more farmland? Have you pick between those three options right there. So the game up here has a nearby ruin. There are ruins nearby. Exploring ruins can grant interesting new items, but be careful of the forest cover. So there is a ruin here to be explored, not too far away from our starting location. A bunch of the goblins that were harvesting this nettle ended up as leveling up their farming skills. That's good. And as you can see, the food production that we have is up to 40 months. So we've almost doubled the amount of food that we have, which is awesome. And I'm spending a lot of goblin power on like the aesthetics of this little village, which is, to say, entirely unnecessary and something that I'm going to do anyway just because I want to. Because I don't think this game is best enjoyed min-maxed, in my opinion. So I am making an active effort not to min-max it. But instead making it look real pretty. Alright, there is a ton of backlogged work. Most of these jobs are going to be storage jobs, so if we take a look at the jobs queue, moving items, it's mostly moving items, and it's mostly moving the nettles into storage. A new discovery. Fishing. So I just built that fishing shack, and that unlocks fresh fish, fishing spears, fishing traps, and a fishing work shack. Also leading to the technology of smoking. So fishery, or fishing, just got discovered. You guys want me to build industry, so I will do that. So the first industry I'm going to build is a work fishing, or a fishing workshop. So the fishing workshop is what is responsible for building fishing spears so that we can actually fish. So we'll get a fishing workshop up, and then I'll work on the production chains for rope. Can goblins become trapped in water? Yes. They can become trapped in water. They can be trapped in forest cover. They can be trapped in walls, etc. So up here it's warning me that I don't have any fisher goblins. So if I queue up fresh fish, let's say, now it's going to tell me I don't have any fishing spears. So if I queue up fishing spears, it's going to tell me I don't have any fishing workshops to make those fishing spears. Got it. Which is what the fishing work shack is all about. Can I type an elevation in the number? Yes. There's actually a slider here. So if I wanted to dig a pit, I could. If I wanted to dig a mountain, I could. If I wanted to build a pyramid, like a ziggurat step pyramid, I could. Or build a step well, I could. There is also the Archimedes, there's wood floodgates and the Archimedes-styled screw pumps. So you can move water around kind of like in Timberborn. So if you wanted a moat system that could be flooded or drained, you could set that up as well. And some of those sort of, let's call them vanity projects, I can consider once I feel like I have longer term survivability already locked down in game. But I'm definitely not to the point where I'm like, hey, let's go do a vanity project, because, you know, my little gobbos are homeless and will starve if I do stuff like that. Okay, so the fishing work shack has all the branches it needs, so we're just waiting on a builder. The storage shed still needs more material, and we did just build the second shed so that nobody is homeless. So now we have homes for all goblins. Until, of course, we raise our population. Should I allow goblin immigrants? I.e., should we raise our population? Yes or no? So I will say, I'll preface, I would say a very comfortable population to manage in this game and in its current state would be about 20. Any more and you're going to struggle feeding them. Any fewer and you might not get enough work done. So if you want more goblins, that's totally cool. I can definitely support more goblins. But what I would say, if you're playing this for yourself, probably aim a target for like 20 to 25 goblins anymore, and you're going to probably struggle in ways that you might not find enjoyable. It looks like you guys potentially want more goblins. So I'm going to open up the Gateway Rock. It's not the only way to get more goblins. There is a spell called Summon Goblins, which does exactly what you would imagine. It summons goblins. So if you're looking for more goblins, you can either open up the Gateway Rock for more goblins to come up from the underground, or you can summon them with your shaman. But I don't have a shaman yet, so that's a moot point. Can the forest grow back? Yes, it does. Case in point, whenever this, like, tidal plain floods, all the plants die. And then, of course, they grow back, you know, once the water recedes. So we've already watched that process in motion, which I just wanted to point out. Okay, we're making another meal, and it's epic meal time now. We also just finished the second storage shed, so that we can store all of our hard-earned nettle seeds and nettle roots and the like. Is there a limit to elevation that goblins can move up and down? You know, I'm not quite sure. I haven't tested that. Boy, they have a lot of work queued up. 660 total jobs. It's one of the balancing, I wouldn't really necessarily call it a complaint, but one of the challenges of the game is very quickly you can end up with just an incredible amount of work tasks. Which is also true of, like, games similar to this, like, let's say, Dwarf Fortress, where you quarry out a large section, and then all of a sudden you have so many materials that need to be hauled away. This game is really no different. Because everything out here in the wilderness, these nettle stems, these seeds, they're all technically queued up hauling jobs. Some are less important, like plant waste. Moving plant waste around, but some are important, like moving tools and weapons to storage. Ooh, and we have our first snow. Well, I was hoping that the fishing work shack would get built by now so that I can work on other industries, but what I'll do is I'll accelerate time to get some of these haul jobs sorted. What industry to build next? So we could do pottery or rope making, and I'll have you pick between the two. It's really getting covered up now. And we have our first pontoon bridge. So you can build pontoons out to get across the river by linking the pontoon bridges together. So I'll build 2 of them for now. It'll give our fisher goblins something to fish off of. If they want. And it looks to me like Team Pottery is going to be the winner here. So, taking a look, the potter's yard requires clay. So before we make a potter yard, we ought to make a clay pit. And the clay pits can only be placed where there is clay in the ground. So I'm going to want to probably put a clay pit somewhere around here. Meaning that I'm going to want to flatten out and raise up the level of this area so that it can't get flooded very easily. Will I need rope to tie the pontoons together? Yes. They're actually built with rope. So if you take a look at the pontoon bridges, they're built with wooden barrels, planks, and ropes. Oh, did I tell them to lower it? Hold on. Cancel that order. Change ground height. 1025, yeah. No, that's the correct height. Oh, we have someone who's... How'd you get hurt? You're frightened. What are you frightened of? You're frightened of the death folk. Oh, yeah. I would, I'd be scared of that thing, too. That thing looks horrible. I don't think that you were in the wrong to run from what looked like a Grim Reaper rolling through. So fair enough. I'll probably put the clay pit like... Oh, they're struggling on a stump. But yeah, I'll put it over here. We still have a lot of queued tasks, and I'm just going to continue adding to their queue, because I am just as evil of an overlord as the Goblin King in the underworld is. Alright, so you guys obviously want, well, enough of you want pottery that I'm going to work on pottery. And that's a pretty useful one to queue up. because I would need pottery in order to make other kitchen shacks to be able to feed a larger population. Emily, thank you for the resub. So in the clay pit, I can now, in the stock manager, queue them up so that we dig up raw clay. So I'm going to say to have 10 raw clay in stockpile at any given time. Am I lowering the ground intentionally? I am, yes. Oh, what are you? Uh-oh. New discovery, technology for weapons. Your goblins have learned to create weapons to defend themselves, unlocked by combat. This technology is unlocked when an inhabitant of your camp has been in combat. It unlocks the stone mace, the bone spear, if we have bone carving, the wood spear with carpentry, the dwarven spear with dwarven metal, the weapon crafter's shack, and also other related technologies. Come on! Your Tiri? Win, buddy, win! I believe in you. Kill this scrawny wolf. Bash it to death. Oh, he is just schooling this thing. He's an outdoors goblin. So he likes to be outdoors, and he's probably tough as a result. Uh-oh, I don't know. The tides of that combat has turned. Oh, he's getting cut. He's getting sliced. Fight back, my good man. So maybe the industry that I work on next will be weapons based, because this dude is gonna die. Yeah, he's cut, sliced, gashed, stabbed, lacerated, and dying quick. Ah, the life of a goblin. Yeah, we have discovered violence, exactly. So the weapons crafter shack will be the next thing I build, and I'll place one right here. And he has died and is being eaten by the wolf. Whereas this lumber garden goblin here is just witnessed it and didn't do much about it. It's almost tilling season for the farm plots again. And now we're down to a goblin population of 9. One of the next major updates is going to be a combat-focused update. So a lot of there is a little bit of an ability to intentionally fight wolves, but the full features for fighting wolves are not included yet, which is why I couldn't necessarily rally the goblins, because it's a mix of it is not included in the game yet, or also I don't have the related technologies for guards for the village. Here's mealtime again. We have plenty of food stocked up, which is good. And we have our clay yard. So the next thing I want to do is to also build a potter. A potter is a pretty small building. Oh, new discovery, shamanism. At least one goblin in your camp is hard-blooded and hardy. You can now build a shaman's hut, and if you do, your goblins will elect a shaman. one thing at a time. I don't want to queue up too much before tilling season. I wonder if I can find the... Well, this one's hardy, which raises willpower and constitution, but they're untried, so that's not the potential goblin. So one of our goblins sort of passed the fortitude test, so to speak, and is a potential shaman. I'd like to try to find the potential shaman just for fun. So, like, this one's soft-blooded, obviously, it's not that one. Is it you? Hardy, untried. Oh, it's probably you. You look very shaman-y. No, you're untried too. I don't know who it is. Oh, here it is. Jerty. Hardy and hard-blooded. So they are the individual that met the requirements to become a shaman. And if I built a shaman hut, they would almost certainly become our shaman leader. Which I will do once all the other related priorities are done. So build pottery and a weapons check. Pretty soon, the water level will sweep back in, and we'll have our canals again. There's a potential of anything in the waterways to be swept out by the current. So I kind of actually expect that to happen, where we will lose some of the like nettle seeds and the like that are in the pit, which is fine. I don't mind. That fishing shack doesn't want to get built? This one? Yeah. I can also demolish it and try to build it again. You know, it is pre-early access, so bugs abound. I don't think that was necessarily the case. It was probably just queued up behind a lot of other tasks. That's almost always the case. So a distant rumble of water is heard in the camp. So we'll have a flood of water coming. Oh, there it is. Oh, and there's a ruin by the riverside, which won't be too hard to explore because you can almost walk up the river. But as a result of this incoming flood of water, our canals are going to be full, which will be cool. Here it comes. It's like a tsunami. Whoosh. And you can see the items that were low kind of flooded around. Now the clay pit is a little submerged. But it's still operational, I think. Yeah, that looks neat. I like the way that looks. Now, when things move around from the water, often they become unclaimed. So you can use the claim items tool to basically say, no, 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 I still want this. Well, looks like the farm fields mostly got cleared of last year's harvest, which is good timing, because we're going to have a next harvest soon. And they are just tidying everything up. It will be sowing season in about a month or so. A little longer. I will not want to add too many jobs to their queue for sowing season. So I just have these buildings that we've neglected, but at some point what will happen is they'll go around to it. I think what they're doing is they're clearing the area, because the area has a bunch of excess materials on it, so it's preventing it from being built. They're actually dumping the... Oh, and there the water goes out, flowing out. They were dumping the sticks into the water, which was kind of funny. Okay, it's mealtime. And here is the weapon crafter shack and the fishing work shack. Perfect. So with those two shacks built, I'm going to queue up some collecting of hazelnuts, black currants. All right, that works. So we already have a queue for fishing spears. And I want to queue up stone maces, we'll say 5, and wooden spears, we'll say 5. And that is a weapon crafting shack queue, so that we have some weapons to defend ourselves. And soon we'll be able to start fishing. The pottery shack is still, actually, it might have gotten canceled. So let me put that back. I think it got canceled because the water flooded up briefly and, like, knocked into where the shack was getting placed, pausing its construction. Okay, so this is an important mechanic. Sacrifices. The time for sacrifices is near. You must decide what to sacrifice this year. So this year, I am going to skip the sacrifices for reasons that I will mention later. But this raises your goblin's culture, which raises your research points and your spell points. But there's a strategic reason why I skipped it this year. And you will find out. So once the potter's done, I'm going to have you guys vote on what to do next. I could build rope making industry. I could explore a ruin. I could prepare more farmland. I could build a pontoon bridge. Well, I would need rope making first before that. Build a shaman hut. And you can vote those 4. So here's our fisher goblin, standing at the river's edge with his spear, spear fishing, and getting fish for us. Oh, and the potter's getting built. Yeah. Oh, perfect. So with the potter about to be built, let's go to earthenware pots and queue up to have at least 5 of them. And there it is, potter's yard. So the potter's yard is just adjacent to the clay pit. Now, it seems to me like a significant portion of my nettle farms didn't actually get queued up to be sown. And it doesn't look like they were at all. I'm going to abandon this farm plot and put it back down. I'm going to see if I can encourage them to actually do it this year or not. I might have missed the tilling season. We'll see. How does storage work? So, in any storage building, you can, it stores a finite amount of resources, and you can queue up specific what you want it to store. So by default, the storage shed stores, you know, perishables and small items and the like. I don't have a... Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, okay, they're sewing now. I just sort of had to re-queue it up. That's fine. Well, now that the potter's done, you guys want me to explore a ruin. So I am going to start building additional raven statues. And the closest ruin is right there. It's very close. And then there was also a ruin. Let's do a little ruin searching to see if there's other close ruins that we could easily get to. So there's a pretty close ruin on the west. That would be the next most obvious. And then there was that ruin, like, up the river. And that's not too hard to get to. So, current priority right now is explore ruins. Talene, thank you for the resub. Now, the raven totems are a little tricky to build because they require a full log to be hauled out there, and logs move very slowly. So the further out... Oh, and here's the log hauler. You can actually see this guy is the one building the raven totem. So, in showing you this, the further out you explore, like there's another ruin way out here, and there might even be further ruins out. The longer... Oh yeah, there's a ruin near the map's edge. The longer the builders have to haul logs out there, the longer it takes, and the more tied up they are. So really early game, it might be... you might want to go out and, like, explore all the ruins aggressively, but there is a downside to that, which is that the people that you're using to do that are going to be tied up with work for a very long time because they were not going to be able to move around more freely. And do other jobs. So be careful queuing up too many raven statues, because the net result of that, it could be all of your capable builders are just like hauling resources for a long, long time. But here he is. He places the log, and he's not actually the builder. Someone else is going to come along and build it. All right, taking a look at stocks. Okay. Oh, yeah, here's the builder. Perfect. And one more raven statue should get me there. That's the first you've seen Tyro in a modern context? Yeah, more like Tyro, Tycho, you know, sort of acolyte, or all the somewhat antiquated terms. I remember them from like Morrowind and Oblivion. It would make a little bit more sense to like native English speakers to call it like apprentice or something like that. Similar. The only challenge I have is sometimes it's really hard to tell if I have a queued up... So I can see... You know, to see queued up raven statues. Because I can't tell if I need to place another one down or I've already built one over here. The fact that it only costs one wood log means that if you build two, it's like not going to be the end of the world. So I'll build a second one. If it is indeed a second one. And I have a goblin lost in forest cover. So when they're lost in forest cover, it means they can't pathfind to where they need to be. And they will like wander around and try to find, you know, the revealed forest area. They don't leave breadcrumbs behind them. So you got to be careful about... So like this statue right here is a little dangerous to build because it's like deep in forest cover, which is easy for them to get lost. So I have to, you know, make sure that they don't disappear into the forest fog. Would I be able to fell a tree closer to where I need the totems? Potentially, but that doesn't necessarily say that the goblin will haul the closer felled tree to where the totem is built. So it's possible it works out like that, but it's also possible that you just created 2 long-distance tasks with a tree feller running all the way out to the edge of the map, and then the hauler also running out to the edge of the map, helping you not at all. Because you don't, there's, this game is more similar to like Dwarf Fortress, where you manage from a macro level, not a micro level. So I'm not really specifically telling these goblins tasks to work on or anything like that. They issue their own tasks and they work on their own priorities, and I don't manage them into the minutia. They were out of jobs though, so I just queued up 2 more homes to be built. And then, because we did open up an immigration, I am going to build a second kitchen as well, so that we have the capacity to feed the new immigrating goblins when they get in. So this raven statue might be a little bit too tricky to build. But maybe not. And I'm going to do some dredging. A lot of dredging. So when I said some dredging, I kind of lied. Well, I see the, oh yeah, this one got built. Nice. So we'll just keep raven statuing, and those are the 3 closest ruins that I spotted. So we'll try to get out to those 3 specific spots. The other advantage of putting down raven statues is it will open up the options. Actually, you know what? This raven statue I'm going to demolish. I would like to, and this is just because I know the game mechanics, your goblins sometimes will treat running along the river's edge here, because it's not fog covered, as like permissible pathing, which can be really dangerous because as the water levels rise and lower, the path can be cut off. So it's really nice to reveal the coastline so that your goblins don't necessarily get stuck. Because they can get stuck within pockets of fog, depending on water level. So instead of going straight to the ruin that I spotted, as the crow flies, I'm going to go along the coast, which might cover a little bit more terrain, but it should be safer for the goblins in the long run. Oh, and the harvest just happened. So the other thing is that the fertility of the farm fields that I have here are basically nil. And I'm going to farm it until the fertility hits 0. But we will at some point have to plan out new farms, because when fertility hits 0, there's nothing that we can do with that land other than to use it. Oh, Jesus. Can you go away? Other than to use it for, you know, non-farming purposes, like building stockpiles or building other industries. Yo, Deathfolk, can you just, like, leave me alone for now? That'd be great. Thanks, bye. See you later. The seasons go by pretty quickly. Right now I'm on, like, ×3 speed. Otherwise it wouldn't be so fast. Mostly so that I can show more of the game content. But I wouldn't always necessarily play at, like, top speed. Thank you for tuning in to Goblin Camp, which originally streamed live on Twitch August 30th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow goblins.